All right, everybody, good afternoon. Welcome back. We've got ourselves some game status reports for the Seattle Seahawks and the New Orleans Saints. Let's take a look. Let's get a sense for what we might have and might not have in this Sunday's game. And I'll tell you, the news is not great. John Boyle posted this just a few minutes ago. We're going to take a look at his tweet today. Let's zoom in on the image. And it's actually pretty straightforward. And I think we know where this is headed. So, first of all, we have several players listed on this injury report with no game designation, which means they're all going to play unless something weird happens on Saturday or Sunday morning. So that's Derek Hall, Torrey Horton, Josh Jobe, Ernest Jones, and Abraham Lucas. All those guys are good. We are good there. So that's the good news. If you like the good news, give this video a like, subscribe, click the bell, become a channel member. Those are the best ways to support. If you appreciate the good news, those are the best ways to help me out. Because now we got to get to the bad news. We've got 4 players that are designated as doubtful. And doubtful, usually in my estimation, means out. I know it's technically 25%. In practice, it feels more like 10%. So, with a Thursday night game looming after this game, don't expect to see any of these guys. And it's given where we were yesterday with the practice participation, this feels like kind of the worst case scenario. Not that it's something that cannot be overcome, but let's run it down. Zach Charbonnet, your second, your backup. Well, honestly, so far this year, he's been the starting running back because he's played more than Walker. I know Walker's probably been more valuable, but Charbonnet is still, he has his own level of value. And what are we really talking about? At the end of the day, he's on the field more because we trust him more in passing situations. So Charbonnet, we don't know if he practiced today or not, but he is doubtful, so I wouldn't count on him being able to play. And then the secondary, Nick Emenwari is doubtful. I doubt he practiced today, and I seriously doubt he's going to play on Sunday. In fact, I think you can already kind of cross that one off in your head. No, I'm sorry, not Abraham Lucas. That would have been really bad. Julian Love, with a hamstring injury, is doubtful. So, not counting on having him Sunday. And that's a significant portion of your secondary already, and we haven't even gotten to Devin Witherspoon yet. He is doubtful. So, that's a starting corner, starting safety, and I guess your starting nickel corner all missing this game. Luckily, Josh Jobe is fine, so at least we don't have to worry about that, but this is not good. This Saints team is not very good, but they do have some good stuff in that playmaker room. They do have some good receivers right now. By the end of the year, maybe not. A lot of those guys are going to get hurt because they always get hurt. Probably some of them get traded. But looking at this Saints team, this is not necessarily the game I want to be missing 2 of my top three corners, although some people might say Joby has bumped himself past those guys in value. I think it's a little early for that. But you're down those 2 guys and you're down a starting safety. I'm not super enthused about that. So definitely concerning. But again, I think that caution is the right play here, and you just have to hope you win anyway. Because that Thursday night game means a lot more to you. You need that win more than you need this one. You need both, let's be real. But if you had to pick one, the Cardinals game is more valuable, and it just means more. Speaking of something that's valuable, let me tell you a little bit about Sleeper for these next 60 seconds. Before I go any further, I want to tell you a little bit about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using the Sleeper app for daily fantasy football this year, you are missing out on some great opportunities. Take a look on the left side of your screen right now. Look at all these great things you can do over there at any time you want to. Make all kinds of over-under picks. Let's take a look at my entry for this week. I got Bijan and Saquon scoring anytime touchdowns. I think both those guys are going to get in the end zone and help lead their team to big victories. I got Pat Mahomes going over 29.5 rushing yards. He's going to need to run the ball a lot because of the way that Chiefs offense is right now. And I got JSN going over 68.5 receiving yards. Got to keep going the over on JSN until he gives us a reason not to. You get on over to Sleeper, use my promo code SBN. You can get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Opening up operations in Washington State in October. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. All right, welcome back. So, not great. I'm not super enthused about the state of this team right now, health-wise. But you still got to go out there and win. And maybe we're going to be leaning really heavily on the pass rush. Maybe we just need the pass rush to be completely dominant to overcome the secondary injuries. Maybe we need the offense to put up 30 points, but you got to overcome it. All right, that's the Seahawks side of things. It's certainly, given where we were at the start of the week, I would call it the worst case scenario, more or less. There was never any real fear about a lot of these players missing the game, but everybody who there was real concern about is not playing in all likelihood. I seriously doubt any doubtful player will play. Now, I had to piece the Saints injury report together from a few tweets, but it looks like they are a little bit more of a question mark. Matthew Paras here on X reports, and I saw this from a couple other people as well, that Fuaga is questionable. Now, I don't know if he practiced today or not. We haven't gotten the practice report yet. But given the fact that he missed 2 practices earlier this week and he's working through multiple different injuries, the knee and the back, I would suspect that he's not playing, but strictly speaking, he is questionable. This might also be, you could see like an Alex Highsmith situation where he goes out there for the start of the game, but quickly exits because he finds out that while he was at the time healthy enough to play, it didn't hold up. Also from Matthew Paris here, Velez, Palmer, and Penning are all questionable as well. So that's 2 pieces of their wide receiver depth. Velez was the guy they traded for from the Broncos, and Josh Palmer was a Charger until this most recent year. So those are 2 guys that right now are not that big of a deal to lose. This is going to be a bigger deal when Olave gets concussed and Cooks gets hurt and Rashid Shaheed gets traded. So that's not too big of a deal. But the Penning thing is very interesting because he's trying to transition to guard anyway. So he's already kind of working behind the 8 ball here. And you're also talking about somebody whose backup is out because Raduns did not make the trip. So with Raduns not making the trip, if Penning cannot go, they are playing a 3rd string left guard. And that is something that you would expect the Seahawks to take full advantage of. Now, the one bit of clarity that we have this week on the Saints in terms of their injury is Chase Young is out. Chase Young is not going to play. And that doesn't come as a great surprise to me, but that is somebody that the Saints were counting on having this year. That was somebody they were trying to build around a little bit. So no Chase Young means you've got Carl Granderson and not much else on that pass rush that you're really afraid of. Like Cameron Jordan has a little bit left, but he's 36. There isn't much left there. So with Chase Young out of the picture, Granderson's all right, and then you've got Brian Bresee. He's been pretty good the last couple of years, I guess, but that definitely takes a bite out of their defensive pass rush. Now, obviously, I think with Chase Young out, that does in some way improve their run defense because Chase Young is a guy who just kind of goes after the quarterback, but definitely worth noting that without him, their defense just, there's a bite taken out of it. All right, so that's the injury report from the Saints. Not great news today, but nevertheless, we move on, and hopefully we still beat the Saints. Still a winnable game. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Another video coming later. Maybe another one after that. See you on Twitch later. Go Hawks.